Chris Godinez, licensed professional counselor, also the host of We Need to Talk on every Sunday at noon, and then I post these videos up to social media. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. The views and opinions stated herein are mine and mine alone. They do not represent the ACA, the APA, or any other therapist for that matter. Boom shakalaka done. I'd like to thank my sponsor, BetterHelp. BetterHelp. BetterHelp.com/Chris Godinez. They're an online therapy company. They are international. I've gotten really good feedback from people using them. They like their therapist, which is good. They are very affordable, which is also really good. It comes in packages of like 4. They charge like, I think it's like $65 per session or something like that. Don't quote me on it. It might have gone up. I don't know. But anyway, it is affordable. It is awesome. People do like them. I love it. So thank you, BetterHelp.com/Chris Godinez, for helping people. That makes me very happy. So, all right. So, the question today is, all right, let me take a look. How to take fewer things personally. So, this is a common issue with survivors of abuse. It just is. So when we are in an abusive relationship, whether that is a family of origin or it's a romantic relationship, or God forbid we have a boss, coworkers, etc., we take everything personally. It's because they made it personal. It was like, well, it's your fault. Because remember, they have to have somebody to blame. So literally everything is your fault. Everything is your responsibility. Everything is, and so it is personal when you're in one of those relationships. So coming out of that type of relationship, coming out of that kind of abuse, it's really important to remember, not everyone thinks the way an abuser does, okay? Abusers are always on the lookout for threats, insults, somebody to fight with, that kind of thing. That's just their thing. That's what they do. They cannot survive without having conflict. They've got to be in an argument with somebody, or be angry with somebody, or be fighting with somebody, and everything is personal, because everything is personal to them. Okay. Because remember, it is all about them. Like, seriously, I had someone in one of my classes walk into the room one day and loudly announce, "It is all about me." And I went, "Oh, and stay away from that one," So they really truly think that everything is about them. It is personal. And so their attacks are personal. So when we come out into the world, this is a flea. This is another one of those little behaviors that we've picked up from our abuser that we have got to squish. So it is not personal. Things that people do are not directed intentionally at you. Now, sometimes they can be, and that's when you really have to go, okay, was that intentional, or was that, But for the most part, no. For the most part, it's like, look, people are so wrapped up in their own heads and in their own lives, they are literally not thinking of other people. They really are not. So I've had a lot of clients that struggle with this particular issue. Like, they're afraid to go to the gym because they're afraid people are looking at them, or they're afraid to go do something because they're afraid of being made fun of, or they're afraid to go, try something new because they're afraid of failing, and they're afraid of being judged, and they're afraid of people being snarky or whatever. Listen, the only people who make it personal, or who do personal attacks, are disordered. Okay, then it is personal. Then it is definitely, they were trying to be nasty, to you. So let me give you a great example. In our family, our extended family, we had a family member that was a raging alcoholic, and I do mean raging. I also do mean alcoholic. And he would go around the room and throw out the nastiest things he could possibly say to anybody, trying to get a fight going. That was personal, 110%. He knew exactly what to say in order to hurt people's feelings, in order to get to the jugular, in order to start an argument or start a fight. That was 100% intentional and personal. Most of the time, though, the rest of the world doesn't do stuff like that, okay? That guy was so disordered, like literally he had to be carried out of the family gatherings because he would get so drunk he'd be falling down drunk. So the family would pick him up and literally carry him home. So narcissists do personal attacks. The rest of the world, not so much. So people are so in their own heads. They're not, this is personal. No, it's not. This time it's personal. No, it's not. It really isn't. It's not. Don't take it personally. Listen, if I invite somebody to go out with me and they say no, I'm not going to sit there and beat myself up. Mea culpa, mea maxima culpa. Why did they say no? I'm a horrible person. Oh my God, they hate me, blah, 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 blah. That's what we were trained to do, guys. That is not the normal response to that. If I invite somebody out and they say no, I go, oh, okay, well, maybe next time. And I don't take it personally. Oftentimes if somebody says no, they'll say, I'm sorry, I've got a family gathering, or, something else is going on. Hey, it's okay. You don't have to explain, So we are trained to take things personally. So really, you're going to have to use logic here. You're going to have to use critical thinking. Is this personal? No, it's not. Why am I taking it personally? What is this about? Who trained me to take things personally? Where did this come from? This would be a great opportunity to sit down and write out who trained you to always think it was your fault or to always take things personally, like it was a personal attack. CPTSD from Surviving to Thriving, Pete Walker. Self-Esteem Workbook, Glenn Schiraldi. It's not all about you. It's not. The way people act tells me everything I need to know about them. It's about them. Their behavior is them, not you. So it's really important to sit down, get a journal, start writing. Who taught you? Whose behavior was this? Who always took things personally? Who was always looking for a fight? Who was always looking for hurt feelings? Who was always looking to be the victim? Who was always do you see where I'm going with that? Because that's what narcissists do. So really important to hand it back to them. It's not yours. Set that luggage back down on the carousel. It is not yours. So hand it back to the abuser. So dear abuser or whoever, this is what you taught me to do. And guess what? It's not always all about me. It's not always personal. It's not always somebody looking for a fight. It's not always somebody. Do you see where I'm going with that? So you got to kind of work it through and hand it back to your abuser in letter form, and then trot it out to the barbecue, read it out loud once, and burn it. The other thing you can do is mirror work. Hi, good to see you. You do not have to take everything personally. It really, truly, people's behavior is more about them than it is about you. Have a good day. Seriously. And then walk out. So it really is working on the mistaken thoughts, the mistaken beliefs, the fleas, the bad behaviors that we learned from the narcissist, watching the narcissist, listening to the narcissist. So it's really important to undo that. And when you find yourself taking it personally, you're going to have to stop and get out of your feelings. Seriously, feelings are not facts, guys. Feelings are not facts. So you're going to have to step out. And the first question is, how old do I feel right now when I want to get into those feelings? How old am I? Okay, what did your abuser do to you at that age? How did they make you wrong or responsible for them and their emotions? Journal it out. Journal it out. Does that make sense? So you definitely want to figure out how old you are. What does this remind you of? Did your abuser do that? Did your abuser take everything personally? Because that means it's a flea. It's a learned behavior, which means if it's learned, it can be unlearned and it can be replaced with healthy behavior. So that's what you want to start doing. That's how you stop taking things personally, is recognizing it's not personal. People do things because of them, not because of you. Abusers will never accept personal responsibility. So they would always have to project their blame all over everybody. And so we felt we were responsible for everything, and everything was personal because the abusers did personal attacks. So really important, journal it out. Who was the abuser? How did they act? How did they train you? Where did you get this from? And then, rebuff it, refute it. No, I don't need to do this anymore. I don't need to take things personally because it's not personal. Let it go. Let it go. So now again, like I said, like with that family member, oh yeah, those attacks were 100% personal, but you can kind of tell the difference. Okay. So when somebody's having just a bad day and they can't hang out with you and they're like, no, I can't hang out. Gotta go. Bye. That's not personal. If somebody is looking to find the jugular so that they can get that jugular and go in for the kill shot, that is personal. So you've got to learn to discern the difference. It's really, really important to understand the difference between when it is personal and when it is not. Most of the time it is not. Don't take things personally. Figure out how old you are feeling in that moment. Talk to that inner child. Comfort that inner child. Work with that inner child. Inner Child Workbook, Catherine Taylor, or the one by Lucia Cappuccioni. Excuse me. Oh my God, the pollen. It's like, okay, it was cold this weekend, and now it's been warming up, and now it's like all of the pollen is like, festival, festival. And I'm like, oh, go away. Anyway, so the point being is, it's not personal. People's behavior has to do with them, okay? If it is personal, you can tell. You can tell because it's like, it's intentional, it's cruel, it's going for the jugular, then it is personal. But other than that, no, 9 times out of 10, it is not. So you've got to comfort that inner child, work on the Inner Child Workbook, work the self-esteem workbook, figure out where it's coming from, figure out who taught it to you, write them a letter, burn it, let it go. All right, my loves, I will talk to you on Sunday. We will be talking about parental alienation, otherwise known as siding with the aggressor, what you can do to mitigate it, how to start healing that relationship with the adult children, if you're lucky enough to have that happen. So, all right, we will talk about that on Sunday. Talk to you later. Bye.